Okay, so this video is going to be on another one of the PS2 games I used to play, and it took me a while to beat it, but it's based off of one of my favorite, anti-heroes from, comics and movie and such. So this is Spawn Armageddon. As far as I know, one second. Yeah, start button's acting up. Anyways, as far as I know, Spawn Armageddon, I don't know how closely it follows to the actual comics, but the game captures the essence of Spawn pretty well. The game is laid out into, let me go to select missions. Oh yeah, it has the easy, normal, hard option. The game is laid out into, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. So it's laid out into 23 missions. So each of those missions will have you go from, parks to hell to cities to buildings to subways. Like they do a pretty good job of, mixing where you're going to and fro. So the places don't get stale in the game. By the way, select mission is only available once you beat the game. You can't just select missions, from start to beginning, from start to finish. There's also bonus material you can get in the game. This is an purely action game. That's in third person, so it basically plays like a Devil May Cry game. So if you saw me play Devil May Cry 4, it basically plays like that, just instead of, the stylish moves and the suave, characters that you play in that series. You play a Spawn, which is all about, carnage and destruction. So he uses his axe, he uses his submachine guns, his sawed-off shotgun, his rocket launcher, his miniguns, his semi-automatic pistols, his let's see, what were some of the other ones? His brimstone cannons. Like he has a wide variety of weapons, which is one of the things that makes Spawn so powerful. Because Spawn, prior to him making a deal with the devil and becoming the general of the devil's army, was a highly trained, assassin for the U.S. government. So he knows how to use every weapon you could think of. But anyways, across levels you'll find some little papers that are have this little glow to them. Those are comics. So you could come to the comic gallery, and when you collect them, it'll show you the different comics. Now obviously it won't let you look inside them, it's just the covers, but it's kind of cool to see, what the comics look like for Spawn. Let me just show you a couple. I'm missing a lot of them, of course, because I wasn't really looking for them like that, but I just always really like the art of Spawn. It's so, visceral and it's so visceral and crazy. I mean, just look at this shit. How can you not like that? Keep in mind, this game, for anybody that does know about Spawn like that, this game doesn't delve into Spawn as, Al Simmons. So you'll never play as Al Simmons, which is probably one of the game's shortcomings, because you're Spawn all the time, and then that's it. This game doesn't tackle, the struggles he goes through with being Spawn and no longer being Al Simmons, and not being able to be with his wife and stuff. It doesn't tackle stuff like that, which probably would have made for, you know, an even more interesting and better experience. This game does come with bosses at the end of each level. At the end of each level? No, not at the end of each level, but at the end of most levels it'll come with bosses. So, you know, series bosses like, you know, Violator, which is the kind of like the co-captain of, you know, the demons, because mind you, it's demons against angels. So whenever Spawn, you know, goes out to fight, he'll be fighting demons, he'll be fighting angels, he'll be fighting humans, like all three, and you know, some like weird mixtures of both of them. So those are some of the comic covers. So then there's also concept gallery, you know, just a bit of concept art, kind of showing you, you know, some of the places they made, and you know, some of the enemies or characters. So there's that. Then there's the encyclopedia, which has all the enemies from the game. So we have the Angel Hunter, and notice it'll give you a little backstory on them. You know, you can read that, and there's like usually like 4 different texts on each of them. So not only does it tell you about them, but it tells you what's the best strategy for hurting them. So there's Angel Hunters, there's Warriors, there's Predators, Assassin. Now these are the demons, the Berserkers. It's another angel, the Brute, Claw Demon, the Demon. The Demon. Claw Demon is one of the demons, obviously. Cygor was one of the first bosses. Hated him. Fire Demon, Flying Imp, Frenzied Violator. So that was, you know, Violator a little towards the end of the game when he changed. There's Imp, Hell Leech, Lamenting Demon, Hell Eye, Meat Puppet. As you can see, Metatron, that was towards the end of the game. Newborns, Possessed Soldier, Reaver, Redeemer. Like I never, you know, read the Spawn comics, but as far as I could tell, they did a pretty good job of, like I said, making you feel like Spawn in the game. Space Station Crew, Spider Tank, that was one of the other bosses. There was Violator in his first form, Whip Demon, and Wind Soldier. That's the other thing too that I didn't really like about this game, is not only did they not tackle Al Simmons, the person, but some of the other characters like the two police officers, I forgot their names, but the 2 police officers, if you guys ever seen the animated series that, you know, were pretty prominent in the show, they weren't in this. It seems like the humans really served no purpose in this game. They were kind of just there. They're kind of just like, you know, in the way. You never get to see Jason win. You never get to fight, what is his name? Fuck. What is his name? Not Preacher. It's, what is this guy's name? And I used to be like, yo, why didn't they have him? Like, one second, I'm gonna look up his name. What is this man's name? Chapel, you know, being Al Simmons' friend in the army, which, you know, ends up burning him alive because Jason Lynn said so, because Al Simmons wanted to leave the army. but they didn't show chapel, and the other part I didn't really like is they showed Malbolgia only when you A, ran out of health so you died, or B, which was towards the very end of the game. Yeah, other than the end of the game and when you died, Malbolgia really wasn't there. Like I said, you never get to see his wife, you never get to see his friend Terry, which, you know, took care of his wife when he died. You never get to see one of the older Hellspawn, because a lot of this I'm derivating from the animated series, which I felt like did a really good job with this game. But hold on. But yeah, there were a couple things that, you know, I kind of wish was in this game, which would have made it better. They could have expanded a little bit more with enemies. It would have been, you know, a little cooler to see different enemies. But usually when you go to save game, just so I explain this to you guys, souls is what you get every time you kill enemies. They're like these blue little orbs. You kill enemies, you get souls. You can use the souls to upgrade your guns, or upgrade your health, or upgrade your necroplasm. Necroplasm is pretty important in this game. Excuse me, there are different kinds of necroplasm. One second. There are different kinds of necroplasm, and they, like one of them lets you, you know, run through the area, you know, super speed, so everything is really slowed down. One of them is like, you know, like a beam, like a green beam. Another one allows you to reveal, you know, new passageways, because there's a little bit of exploration in the levels, you know, with your chains that allow you to, you know, grip onto, you know, certain icons, or, you know, jumping. There's a little bit of exploration to find, you know, maybe some secrets. It also has enemy kills, breakable items, technique points. My overall rank as a conqueror. The amount of time I spend playing the game is 4 hours, 48 minutes, 50 seconds. Feels way longer than that. Again, it's on easy, normal, hard. Let's see. I'll pick. Sure, I'll pick the first mission just so you guys see it. Also, you'll notice here, every time you go to the next mission, like I said, prior to beating the game, you can't go backward or forward. So whatever mission you're on it. Also, another thing that kind of sucks about this game is souls. You don't really get a whole lot of souls except for certain missions. So souls also must be spent on ammo. So anytime you run out of ammo during a mission, and then you complete that mission, go to the next mission, you still have to buy the ammo if you didn't, you know, get lucky and the enemy dropped the ammo you needed. So that kind of sucks that you have to spend souls on ammo. That's definitely not one of my favorite things about the game. But it'll usually give you this little introduction and then start mission. Loading times aren't too bad. When it comes to glitches, the game isn't too buggy. The graphics are decent. Mind you, this was made in like 03 or 04. So the graphics are decent. They're decent for its time. They mostly did a good job in, you know, in how Spawn looked.
Lamont, what are you doing here? Did you see the beam that just struck Central Park? I saw it. What was it? Surely a herald of things to come.
Yeah, it's fully voice acted.
Not exactly sure what it was, but it can't be good.
A herald of things to come? What are you saying?
I have a feeling that you're about to get involved in something that may overwhelm you.
Whatever that beam was, I can handle it. Now, if you don't have anything helpful to say...
Okay. So, whoops. Alright, so, here's Spawn. So you can move the camera around, it's in third person. R1 is to lock on to stuff. You could side strafe, you could double jump, you could float with your cape. So circle is to use your axe. Unfortunately, that's really the most you could do with the axe. There's no combos to learn with the axe, and you can also do that. But other than that, there's not much else you can do with the axe, so that kind of sucks. 1 second. So here it'll give you like a little rundown again. It'll show your health, the amount of time, you know, the comic book covers in this level, breakable items, this, that, and the third. Encyclopedia options. It'll show you the controls. Let's see what else. Okay, so here are the hell powers. There's the necroplasm power. 1 second. How do I don't remember how to. Okay, there's necroplasm ball. You know, it gives you a little rundown of and also it shows the necroplasm you have, but it'll show you how much it costs. There's a necroplasm beam. There's a necro shield, so you could, you know, take some damage. Hell speed and demonic fury. Personally, my favorite that I think is most useful is demonic fury and hell speed. Necroplasm beam is good too, but personally I use demonic fury a lot. It gets you out of a lot of shit. Then here are your different weapons. Here's the chaos chain. It's a single action. The chaos chain you could use as much as you want and keep hitting enemies continuously, and it won't stop you. So this is, yeah. Basically, yeah. So now that lets me know that I've been there. So you'll usually see their health in the bottom left corner there. It shows health bars for all enemies, so bosses included. So that's one of the things it is different from in respects to Devil May Cry. Oh, also when you die, unless you hit one of these markers, you have to start the whole level over. I'm not kidding about that. Seriously, and it gets annoying sometimes. Yeah, so now they're telling me to use the hell powers. So you see that one does continuous damage. So now they're teaching me how to jump, and how to double jump, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, it is cool how they do show the blood. I do appreciate that they do that. Another thing to mention to you guys as well is, see, now I'm using my chains. Just so you guys realize the chains are pretty OP. You can basically spam the chains and you don't have to stop. But another thing you learn as well is there are some levels in this game so now I have a shield on. Hold on. So now I'm going really fast, technically. And you would just press triangle again. So now I just picked up a shotgun. Just in case you guys are wondering, some of the strongest weapons in the game do come up with a catch. Like if you're using the rocket launcher, you know, you're gonna move really slow. Oh shit, oops. Damn it. I keep forgetting how to do it. There you go. But you're going to move really slow if you have a rocket launcher. Personally, my favorite was the shotgun and the semi-automatic weapons. That was my personal favorite. Okay, then we also have that one. In most cases, I would recommend you save your ammo unless you really need to use it. Because when you're out of ammo during the mission, you're out. Like, unless an enemy drops it, you're kind of fucked. Sometimes the camera does get in the way, occasionally, but for the most part, the camera behaves itself. Another thing I want to bring up to you guys as well is there are some missions that, because of poor level design, suffer. Some of the levels suffer because of the level design wasn't good, because there's certain segments where they force you to do platforming when the platforming is kind of okay in this game. It's not the worst I've seen, and it's damn sure not the best. But there's some platforming sections that are just terrible. Like towards the end of the game, especially, like there are some really frustrating missions, or there'll be some missions where they just demand so much of you that it seems kind of unfair sometimes. So while this game is cool, and yeah, when the mission completes, it'll show you the souls, technique points, enemy kills, this, that, and the other. And it'll show you the weapon you acquired. Of course, you will acquire different weapons at different points in the mission. So each mission, you're not going to get a weapon per se, but it's not possible to miss out on weapons. I'll put it that way. It's pretty easy to end up getting all the weapons. You could replay the mission again, because I decided to, well, not decided, I beat the game so I could replay missions or lead missions whenever I want. Let me see. Anything else I want to show you guys? Let me see. Let's go to select mission. And some missions are longer than others too. That's the other thing that kind of sucks. I'll show Angel Attack. I don't think that's a long mission if I remember correctly. Yeah. It's the one I thought. Yeah, I hate them. Okay, good. I could show some of the other weapons. Yeah, these are one of my favorites. It's because the fire rate's so fast. And then the miniguns are really strong. Only problem is you have to hold still, but it mauls their health like nothing. Brimstone cannons. Of course, it works really well against them because they're angels, so. Also, when you upgrade weapons, all you're really doing is you're just upgrading their damage and I believe ammo capacity. But when it comes to look, they're going to look the same that they always did, which it would have been cool if they did change if you upgraded them, but you know they don't, sadly. I think that about sums up, Spawn Armageddon. It's a good game. I wouldn't say it's a must play for PS2, but it's a pretty good game. And if you want an action game and you like Spawn, yeah, I'd say give it a shot. Just be wary of, some of the later missions, and I think there's maybe one or two in the middle that are really hard and will really test your patience. Because there were several times I almost didn't even beat this game. I almost gave up on it and was just like, well, it's just not going to be beaten, because there were some really frustrating points. But anyways, it's a solid action game. And you know, if, like I said, if you like Spawn and you like action games, and you don't mind the fact that it's an older game and it has its flaws, then I say give it a shot. But anyways, this is Spawn Armageddon, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.